Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, and welcome back to today's DAF Hayomi GITTEN Pei Hey. We are actually on Pei Daled Amud Beis, 6 lines from the bottom. Tanu Rabbanon, we have learned the following in a brisa. Kol ha'tanoin, poislim to get. Any tanai, any condition that's actually inserted into the get itself, which is recorded in the get, in writing, it makes the get puzzle. Any condition. Divrei Rabbi, that's Rabbi's opinion. We'll see why. V'chachamim oimrim, they disagree. It depends what type of condition. A problematic condition, yeah, but otherwise, what's wrong? Kol shel poisel al peh, poisel b'ksav. A type of condition, a type of stipulation, which would ruin the get if it were to be verbally stipulated, then yeah, poisel b'ksav. Likewise, if it's recorded in the get, has the same effect, makes it possible. But a proper condition, a fair condition, in which case if it was merely verbalized, it would not be detrimental to the get, then eine poisel b'ksav. Likewise, if it's recorded in the get, no harm is done. Explains the Gemara. 2 types of tanoim. One problematic, one not. Chutz. So if he left something out, if it was an incomplete divorce, such as that case way back in the beginning of Al Perak, he was Megarisher, and he says, look, you're free to marry anybody except, that's chutz, except for Reuven. With respect to Reuven, you're not yet divorced. You're still my wife. So that's chutz. He's leaving something out of that divorce. That doesn't work, according to the Chachamim. So, chutz shepoisel al peh, that's something, if it were verbalized, it would be puzzle. It would be detrimental to the get. It would invalidate the get. Poisel b'ksav. Likewise, if it's recorded in the actual get, it has the same effect. Al menas. But any other type of condition, you're divorced on condition that you pay me 200 zuz. That type of condition is fair, that's legal. She'enei poisel al peh, if it were to be verbalized, it would not be poisel the get. Einei poisel b'ksav. Likewise, even if it was actually recorded in the get, no harm was done. Okay? So, we're going to have 2 ways to explain this brisa. But at this point we have 2 shittos, Rabbi and the Chachamim. All agree that chutz is problematic, whether it's verbalized or recorded in the get. When it comes to almanas, which is really a fair condition, it's a legal stipulation, Chachamim say, okay, no harm is done, even if it's recorded in the get. Rabbi says no. And the question is why? Rabbi Zera machlokes lifnei ha'toref. When do we have this discussion? When does Rabbi consider even almanas a problem if it's recorded in the get? Lifnei ha'toref. If it was recorded before, on top of the toref, the get has a part which is called toref, which contains the essence of the get, the personals, the names, the date. So any condition stated before that is part and parcel of the get itself, is absorbed within the get. The get is written with that condition in mind. So that type of condition is really, crucial and must be kept. The Rabbi holds, Gazrinan almanas atuchutz. Even if it's almanas, which is a fine condition, but we're concerned that might lead to chutz. If he does almanas, he might do chutz as well, which of course is a problem. Rabbanan Savri, no. One thing will not lead to the next. We don't apply the gzeira. We're not concerned that almanas will lead to chutz. So if you write chutz wherever it is, makes the get possible. But almanas, Rabbi says it can lead to chutz. Rabbanan say no concern. But if it's written into the get after the Torah portion, so you have, almanah, something, divrei hakoil kosher, all agree it's kosher. Because, it's already after the get. And Taisus points out, if he writes chutz, that problematic type of condition, even after the Torah, it's possible. He says in the Rabbanan because he might do it before the Torah as well. And since chutz is really something really critical, it destroys the whole get. It's a inherent deficiency within the get. So wherever it's written, whether after the Torah, before the Torah, we don't differentiate. But we're speaking about almanas, which is technically a valid Tanai. Well, if it's after the Torah, we're not concerned that it might lead to chutz, which we say it's kosher. So that's Reb Zera's approach. Again, chutz, wherever it is possible. Almanas, well, before the Torah, which is the critical part of the get, Rebbe says it's possible on account of chutz. Rabbanan say no. After the Torah, all agree it's kosher. Now, umasdisen diktani kesavi. Back to our Mishnah. At the beginning of the parak, he divorced his wife chutz. Right? You're free to marry anyone except for Ruvain. And the Mishnah says, if it was actually recorded in the shtar, umasdisen diktani kesavi, he wrote it in the shtar, then the get is possible. And we've established, we've interpreted, we've learned that we're speaking about chutz. That's how we learned that Mishnah. That's why it's a problem. Almanas le possible, but if it's just almanas that you won't marry Ploini, that's okay. It's just a condition. Despite the fact that it's written in the shtar. Who's speaking? Which shita is this? Let's reconcile that Mishnah with our discussion. We have two options. One option is Lifnei HaTorah v'Rabbanan. He wrote almanas before the Torah, and that's shitas Rabbanan that there's no gzeira on account of chutz. Or la'achar HaTorah, after the Torah, and then it's over. V'divrei hakoil, all agree it's okay. Rebbe or the Rabbanan. That's Reb Zera's approach to the machlekes Rebbe v'Rabbanan. Now we go on to Rava. Rava Amar, he takes it up a notch. Everything picked up a notch. He's more machmer. Machlekes la'achar HaTorah. This whole machlekes between Rebbe and the Rabbanan will say that it's okay. That's only post-Torah, which is not so critical. The Rebbe Savar Gazrin and Atol Fnei HaTorah. Rebbe says, look, if you write almanas now, you might write it before the Torah as well, and then you might end up writing chutz as well. So even almanas after the Torah is a problem. Rabbanan Savar Gazrin and Atol Fnei HaTorah. Rabbanan say, no, it's after the Torah. So we're not concerned that he might do it for the Torah, and that might lead to writing chutz as well. By the way, Taisus asks, we never do a double gzeira. He said it's one gzeira. Rabbi holds if you do the almanas now, you're not going to differentiate between now and before. You might do it before as well, and once you do it before the Torah, you might do chutz as well. Rabbanan say no, it's after the Torah, it's over. The get has been written, so what you add now is not a problem. Lo gazrin atul fnei HaTorah. Aval fnei HaTorah tirakol pasal. But all agree if you write anything, either chutz or even almanas, if it's before the Torah was written, that Tanai is binding, and therefore we say it's possible because almanas can lead to chutz. So he takes it up a notch. Everyone agrees that before the Torah, even almanas is possible. Now back to the Mishnah again. Mishnah speaks about writing the Tanai in the get. We discussed that we're speaking about a chutz stipulation. And that's why it's possible. Aval almanas lo possible, but simply almanas is not a problem. Who's speaking? Which shita is that? Who does it match with? We have only one option. La'achar HaTorah Rabbanan. Apparently we're speaking after the Torah. And at that point we say that it's kosher. According to Shittas Rabbanan, who hold that when the almanas was written at this late stage in the game, it's okay because according to Rebbe it would be puzzle, so apparently it only works with the Rabbanon. But if he writes chutz, even after the turf, we said it's puzzle even according to the Rabbanon. We explained that based on Tosfos that when it comes to chutz, we're very machmer, whether it's after the turf or before the turf, even though after the turf is not really binding, but on account of before the turf, we say any chutz is puzzle. Okay, so before we continue, let's just summarize. Chutz, well, that's a shiur, that's leaving out something within the divorce process. We're going to discuss that in great length in the Mishnah and the Gemara coming up. So shiur is a problem, leaving something out. Strings attached, an incomplete, a deficient divorce, according to Chacham, doesn't work. So chutz and a get, wherever it is a problem. Whether before the Torah, where it's binding, or even after the Torah, when the get has been written, but we say gzeira, we don't differentiate. So chutz, all agree, is puzzle. We discussed almanas. Almanas is just a condition. You're fully divorced. On condition, you do this, you do that. Still, Rebbe says, it can very easily slip into chutz, it can lead to chutz. It's puzzle. Rabbanan say no. We have Reb Zera's approach, the more lenient approach. We have Rabba's approach. Reb Zera says, Rebbe's only machmer before the Torah. But once the Torah is written, all agree, almanas is not a problem. Rabba takes the more stringent approach. Before the Torah, all agree, even almanas is puzzle. Machlekes is only post Torah. Once the get has been written, you just add a stipulation at the end. It's not really binding. Rabbanan say, don't worry about the almanas. And even there, Rebbe's machmer can lead to more. Tanya Avua de Rabbi Abin, the father of Rabbi Abin, presented the following brayse, Kamed Rab Zera, to Rab Zera. Quote, Kasav get al Tanai Divra Kol Pasal. Okay? If there's any Tanai included in a get, all agree, get is puzzle. Asks the Gemara, Divrei Kol Pasal? It's unanimous? V'miflik pligi. We just had a machlekes. Al Emel Divrei Kol Kasha. Let's modify the lashon. All agree, instead of saying pasal, all agree kasha. Bechedami, how's that? Lachar Torah. You see, this is Reb Zera, right? That after the Torah was done, so the get was pretty much finished. Then you add this condition. All agree it's kasha, because Rav Zera, who responded with this edit, with this modification, he's of the opinion that post Torah all agree almanas is fine. So it's l'shitasa. It's compatible with his shita before. Now, why did he have to switch it this way? He changed pasal to kasher. Velema, he could have stuck with pasal and still fixed up the brayse and make it work. Velema is a pasal v'Rebbe. The brayse says like this: any get included in a t'nai, harei a pasal, get is pasal. Not it's unanimous. Not all agree. The get is pasal v'Rebbe. This is Rebbe shita, who says any t'nai in a get is pasal, whether before Torah, after Torah. Sorry, and it will be before the Torah. Before the Torah, it will be pasal if you're Rebbe. So, why did he switch pasal to kasher? He could have stuck with pasal, and it's Rebbe speaking. The answer is Tana divrei hakoil esnai. It's more probable, it's more likely that the Rebbe of the Tana of this brisa used the words divrei hakoil, taught on something which is unanimous. It's unlikely that he erred and he made a mistake and misquoted the brisa in a way that's so different than the way he was taught. If he used the words divrei hakoil, apparently that's how he learned the brisa. That's how the halacha was taught. The only thing is, you can sometimes mix up kasher and pasal. So let's stick with divrei hakoil. Kasher with pasal michafle. He could have switched kasher to pasal, pasal to kasher. So we stick with divrei hakoil and we say instead of all agree pasal, all agree kasher, and it's rabbanon, and it's lachar atayif, and all agree that it's kasher. Harei zeh. But to suggest that he mixed up the Loshen Harizeh, but Divrei HaKoil, and instead it said Divrei HaKoil, it's unlikely that he would switch that. So rather than turning Divrei HaKoil to Harizeh and making it fit with Shitas Rebbe, we stick to Divrei HaKoil, and we say instead of Divrei HaKoil Pasul, Divrei HaKoil Kosher, post Tarif. All agree, even Rebbe, certainly the Rabbanon, that any condition written after the Tarif is okay. This is Reb Zera speaking, compatible with his Shita before. Okay, continues the Mishnah. Harayat Materes L'chal Adam. Okay, you're free to marry anyone except Elo La'abba U'La'avich, except my father or your father. La'achi U'La'achich, my brother or yours, who are usher in any case to marry her. They can't even do Kiddushin or La'eved, La'ev Kichavim, except for an Eved or a guy. U'La'chal Mishayin La'alav Kiddushin, anybody that can't marry her in any case. Kosher. So the get is fine, because there's no shiur. Shiur means leaving out. He didn't leave anything out. These people cannot apply Kiddushin to this woman anyways. However, in the next set of cases, Harayat Mutaris L'chol Adam, you can marry anyone except Ella Almana L'Kohen Gadol. If you're an Almana, you can't marry a Kohen Gadol. All these are examples of Chayavi Lavin. They're violations of a lav. So technically, Kiddushin would take effect. It's different than a violation of kares, as in the father, all that, or the Eved and the guy who have no possibility of Kiddushin. But here, although it's aser, but there is a Kiddushin option. So here it's different. Here it's called a shir. He left something out by blocking these people out. Ela Alamon L'Kohen Gadol, or she's a grusha v'chalutza L'Kohen Hedid, or she's a mamzeres and a sina from the Nassim group, who are not allowed to marry into the community, the Yisrael, you can't marry Yisrael, or he's stipulating that you're a Bas Yisrael, you can't marry L'mam Yisrael and Nassim. Or any other fellow who technically can be Mekadesher, notwithstanding the Isra or the Avera, Afilu Avera, Pasul. Get us Pasul because he's locking these people out. So the Chiddush here is, even though they're not meant to engage her, but since, technically speaking, they have potential to be Mekadesher, to engage her, and the Kiddushin takes effect. So when this fellow locks them out, blocks them out, leaves them out of his divorce, you can marry anyone except for these, he's giving her an incomplete divorce, and therefore it's puzzle. Now the Mishnah starts with a klal and ends with a klal. In part 1, listing all the fellows who can't be Mekadesher, we have a klal, Ulochol mi she'ein no olav kedushin. This includes anybody else who cannot be Mekadesher. Blocking them out is not going to affect the get. In the Sefer, we also have a lashon klal. We listed individuals who have the power to be Mekadesher, and leaving them out of the divorce process constitutes a shir, a leaving out, an incompleteness, and therefore the get is puzzle. Lashon klal is typically including something. Klala the Reisha Lasuye Shar Chayvi Krisis. Lashon klal and the Reisha includes other examples of arayis, which involve a violation of kares. So they have no kiddushin, and there is no locking them out of the divorce is not considered an incomplete divorce. Klala the Seifa, whereas in the Seifa we also have the Lashon klal. Lasuye Shar Chayvi Lavin. That's coming to incorporate other examples of lav-oriented relationships who technically have potential to be Mekadesh this Isha, notwithstanding the Avera involved, and therefore blocking them out of the divorce process is considered a sheer deficiency within the divorce. Here comes a list, a long string of cases, case after case of situations which perhaps not, perhaps are considered problematic in terms of a shir. Do we consider them to be a shir? Are you leaving something out in the divorce by stipulating that you cannot marry this person? So Rava asks Rav Nachman, he tells her, look, you're free to marry anyone except for a minor, a katan. Chutz mikdush a katan. Mao. What's the halach? Minamrinan shall we say, look, He's not a potential husband. He can't be Makadesh at this early stage in his life. So blocking him out is not a shiur. Currently, he can't be Makadesh. On the other hand, eventually, when he grows up, he will. So keeping him out of the arrangement is a shiur. Amalei, he responded from the Mishnah, Tanisua. Ketana, sorry, we have a brisa. Ketana miskareshes, b'kedushi avia. A Ketana girl was married by her father. Father married her off, and then he passed away, and she'd like to get divorced. She can actually receive her own get, despite the fact that she's young and a Ketana. Amai, why? How could she do that? The pasuk connects marriage to divorce, and she can't marry herself off. So how can she receive her get? Apparently, since ultimately down the road when she grows up, she'll be a bar kiddushin. So currently speaking, we also see her as such, and she could receive her get. Hachanami here as well with the katan. Asi l'chla avaya. He's slated. He's going to become a fellow who can do kiddushin. So currently speaking, we treat him as such, and apparently leaving him out of the divorce process constitutes a shiur. Next question. Chutz minan olodim ma'u. He tells her, look, here's your get. You're free to marry anybody except for those who are as yet unborn. Hashtamiyah lo yisyalet. On the one hand, look, they're not yet born, so nobody was left out. On the other hand, they're going to be born, and when they do come around, they're going to be locked out of the system. Amalei, he responds with a Mishnah. Tanisua, look at our Mishnah. So the husband blocks out the Eved and the guy, no problem. What do you mean? Im Isa. Well, if we look at future potential, Eved Gechavim Nami, there as well, Avidi de Megari, you know what? For all we know, they're going to convert. So they are potential husbands. Well, Hanach Lav L'Giyurei Kaimi, big difference. An Eved and Goya typically not candidates for conversion. Hani L'Is Yaludi Kaimi, as opposed to children who are born later on, apparently they were meant to be born. So you are leaving them out. Next question. Chutz mibal achoy samau. He says that, look, you can marry anyone except for the husband of your sister, who is currently not an eligible husband for you, but there's always a chance that maybe her sister will die, in which case she can marry that person. On the one hand, hashtamiyah leichazilei. Currently, she's not able to marry him, so that's not called leaving out. On the other hand, maybe her sister will die and she'll be able to marry this fellow. So leaving him out now is a deficiency of the divorce. Amalei, he responded with the same raya. Tanisur, what does our Mishnah say? If you leave out these individuals, no concern. Why? Maybe they'll convert. So apparently we don't look at the future potential. Same thing with the brother-in-law. The difference, says the Gemara, conversion is unlikely. So we don't have to incorporate that possibility. Misa shchicha, but death is the way of the world. So yeah, we have to reckon for that as well. So perhaps blocking her from marrying her brother-in-law is considered a deficiency in the get. What if he says, look, you can marry anybody, but chutz miznusayich ma'u, but you can't do znus, you can't behave as married in an unmarried context. With respect to that, you're not divorced. On the one hand, he didn't leave anything out that's marriage related. You can marry anybody. On the other hand, shir b'bia. Even this type of interaction as married is reminiscent of the marriage arrangement. Rashi says, "Sad ishus karinabe" has elements of ishus of marriage. So leaving that out, blocking her from that, is also considered a shiur in the get. Amalei tanisua, he responded with a raya from the Mishnah, our Mishnah, la'ab l'avich. You're mutter to anybody except for our relatives. Now, let's analyze this. B'mai. In what context? How would she interact with these people? Through marriage? Well, there's no marriage. Since when can relatives marry her? There's no kedushin, as the Mishnah says. El is nus. Oh, he meant nus. you're mutter to anybody except for the relatives in his nus context. Now, now because it's relatives, or anyways aser, it's not called a shir. Hala achar shir. But if it were somebody else, it would be considered a shir in the get. So we see the answer is yes. No, Dilma ben Isun. Maybe we're speaking about a marriage arrangement that she would want to do with this relative. The other vinsiv, although technically he can't be Makadosh, but let's say he violated, he did the Kedushin. It doesn't take effect, but it's an Avera. He attempted to do so, and that's what he's locking out. You mutter to anyone except if you marry our relatives. So we have no conclusion regarding Znus. Next question. Chutz mishaloi kedar kemau. He says, Hareat mteres l'chol adam, with respect to the conventional mode of marriage, but I'm leaving out, I'm not being mater, an unconventional physical interaction. Mau, what would you say? B'chedar k'alei shir. Well, conventionally, he didn't leave anything out. On the other hand, the pasuk connects the various modes of physical interaction with a woman, and they're all treated the same. Next question. What if he tells the Isha, look, you're fully divorced, except with respect to Hafaras Nadarim. I want to, retain that privilege to nullify your Nadarim. What would you say? Mao. Perhaps he hasn't really left anything out that's really marriage related. No. Pasuk says the husband has the ability to treat her Nadarim, to deal with her Nadarim. The fact that he's leaving that for himself, so he's leaving a certain element, he's retaining a certain element of husbandry. Next question. He says, look, if you marry a kohen, you cannot have truma, which is, a standard privilege for an Eshes kohen. Bin asun al shir, perhaps it's not called a shir, which is marriage related. On the other hand, pasuk says, when you own something, such as a wife, she can have your truma. And if he's not allowing the new husband to feed her truma, then he's not enabling a proper marriage. He's holding on to that aspect of marriage, so it doesn't work. She was a wealthy woman. He says, look, you can marry anybody, but I inherit your estate. She's retaining that right. Perhaps he's enabling a full marriage. That's not called interfering with her future marriage. Pasuk says, who inherits a wife? His flesh and blood, his wife. The fact that he's retaining that privilege indicates that he's still holding on to her as a wife. Next question. He says, look, you're free to marry anybody, but I don't want you to get engaged through a shtar, which is one of the three modes of engagement. Shall we say, well, there are other modes, other methods, kesev and bia, so he's not really interfering. Pasuk says we connect, leaving to divorce, to marriage. We connect all the different methods of marriage to each other, kesef to shtar to bia, and if he's not enabling, if he's blocking one of them, that means she hasn't really left his proper yet. We leave all this unresolved. Bottom line is, divorce must be a full, comprehensive divorce. So, not letting her marry even somebody who's also to marry her. But if there's potential for kedushin and he's blocking that, that's called a shiur. As opposed to Abba v'Avich, where it's chayve krisis, there's no kedushin in any case, so that's not called, he's not blocking anything there. And that would be a proper get. And we had several shaylos regarding GITTEN, balach, all the different situations, and on most of them we left off teku. Okay, we learned so much about a get. What exactly is in the get? Gufay shall get. The essence of the get is like this. Harayat miteres l'chol adam. So he writes those words. Harayat miteres l'chol adam, and you're done. Obviously, with personal details as well. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, no, that's not enough. V'dein, do you have a lechiminai? So you have to add much more. V'dein, this. You should know this is the get that's being megarish you, this paper. Do you have a lechiminai, which you will get from me? is going to constitute a sefer teruchen, a sefer of divorce. We get a shivukin, a letter of separation. We get piturin, a get of sending away. Lamahach, which enables you to go. Lehisna saba, to marry. L'chol gvar, to any man. The tits bayon, that you wish, that you choose to marry. Now, Guvit should get shichr. What is the essence of the release document for an eved? Hariat bas cheren, or there's a girsa hariat ben cheren. You're free to go. Hariat la'atzmcha, or you're on your own. Either way, you're good. Now, pshita. The halacha in the following case is clear. Amalol ishtei tells his wife, hariat bas cheren. You're free. That's more like a maidservant type of expression. It's worthless. Or Amal Shivchase tells his maidservant, you're free to marry anybody. That doesn't work. It's nothing. He mixed up the lashonis. However, what if he tells his wife, you're independent, you're on your own? Does he mean totally? You're free to marry anyone? It's a lashon of gerushin, or perhaps all he meant was you can keep your earnings, but you're still mine. You have a right. Tashma, that's not. The Mishnah says, Gufay should get shikhr. How do you write to get shikhr? Hariat bas chayrin, hariat la'atzmech, right? So it works by an eved. Uma avdo dekanon le gufay. And since even by an eved, where he's totally yours, you own the actual eved. Ki amar le hariat la'atzmech. Once he tells him these words, you're on your own. Kani gufay, he acquires himself and he's free to go. Certainly, of course, the isha, the wife, le kani gufay, he doesn't actually own her. When he uses a similar language, the Koshkan, of course, it works. So that's the conclusion. Next question. He turns to his Eved, he says, I have nothing to do with you. Is he setting him free or not? I have a raya that it works. Sanya. Bryce says, one is not meant to sell his Eved Kanani to a guy who will hold him back from doing mitzvahs. So if he does so, there's a knas. The Eved goes free. You have to go and get him back and redeem him, and he goes free. But Tzarech gets shichur mit Rabbi Rishon, and the Yisrael, the original owner, has to give him a get to set him free. When is a new get required? When does he actually have to sit down and give him a get shichur? When he didn't write oinai, we'll see what that means. But if he wrote oinai, that counts as a divorce, as a release document. What exactly is this? Amar Rav Sheshes. Oinai means a document. Initially, when he sold him to the guy, he gave him a document as follows. He wrote him the following note. Look, if you ever get lucky and escape from the guy, I have nothing to do with you. I have no claims on you. So once he gives him that empowerment, that's like a get shichur. So clearly, Ein li Esak Bach counts as a get shichur, and that solves our question. Rabbi Yehuda, you have to be more specific when you compose your text of your get. It has to be specific, it has to be clear, and unambiguous. V'dein, the Havel Chiminai, right? Sefer Teruchen, the Ger Shivukin. Why do the Rabbanan not require, all these Lashonos and V'dein and all that? Rabbanan Savri, Rabbanan hold Yudayim, a handle, She'ein Mechichas, which aren't necessarily clear and unambiguous. Having Yudayim, it works. So like the handle of a Kli, that's what we call Yudayim, like the handle of a pot, which gives you access to the pot. So it's just an expression. It means like an incomplete phrase, which is indicative of something more. That's Yodayim. We had this in the Dharam, right? So a handle, an incomplete phrase, even though it's not unequivocal, it's not 100% clear, it's not absolute, it's not mechichos, it still can work. And therefore, in a get context, even if he didn't write v'dein, this should be your get, well, it's pretty clear. Everybody knows, look, the get says, Hariyat and Teres l'chol adam, and he gives it the get. It's clear that the get is affecting the divorce. He doesn't have to add all this extra expression. Rabbi the Savar, no. Yadayim shein mechiches, lehavi yadayim. The yadayim don't indicate clearly, as per his intention. Lehavi yadayim, they don't count. And therefore, Vatayva the Kasal of V'dain. It only works if he added the words V'dain, etc., the Mucha Milsa, which indicates clearly, without any doubt, the Bahagita Kamagarisha, this here, V'dain, this is the get that's affecting the divorce. Avalai Kasal of V'dain, but without that, Amri, people can say, B'dibura Gerisha. The divorce was triggered by his words, by just saying. Harayat Muteres L'cha'adin, that phrase that accompanies the transfer of the get. So the words, it was a verbal divorce. Why does she have it in the shtar? Well, it's just as a written record to indicate that she was divorced. It's a raya. That she can, go around showing that she's divorced. But his words, his verbals, are the ones making the divorce. So therefore we have to go and write V'dain. No, this shtar right here, it's the paper, it's the document. Okay, on that note of requiring specificity and exactness and accuracy, says Abaye, I have many more examples. One has to be very careful upon writing a get. There should be no room for question, for doubt, as to his intentions. After all, it's such a critical thing, we want to take no chance. Omar Abaye, Haiman the of GITTEN. A fellow sits down to write a get. He should be careful with his spelling, with the way he forms the letters. Lo yilichtei v'din. So he's going to write V'dain, right? Leave the yud out of it. The mashma V'din, because that sounds like V'din, has a ring of din. I am required to divorce you. Min hadin. And if it's not so, if I'm not required, then it's not a divorce, which can cast doubt on the whole process. So leave the yud out. No din. Ela V'dain. So it's clear that's V'dain, this. Next, when you write igeris, leave the yud out. The mashma igris, or igra, could sound like a roof. Ela igeris without the yud. Limahach. Limahach means enabling you to go, right? Leave the yud out of it. The mashma, because it can sound like two words, limahach. You're mine, going forward. In the word limahach, we have the letter hey. Be careful that it's clearly written as a hey. It shouldn't look like a ches. The mashma ki chucha. Because machach is like a joke. Oh, it's just a joke. Now, when you write the next word, the sihavyan and the titzvayan, those words, put in no less than 3 yuds in a row. Tlasa yudin. Why? The mashma, tahavyan, titzvayan. You see, before we finish, perhaps we should take a look at the Rashi here. Rashi, it's about 6-7 lines up here. Rashi goes through the nusach of the get. Zeo tefes haget. So it makes the Gemara more understandable. He says this is the standard nusach. Okay, patri yasichi lichi. I'm divorcing you, aunt, you, plain as plain. The habis in zasim kadmas dana, who was my wife until now. V'kadoy, and now through this patris v'shafkes v'seruchis yasichi, I'm sending you away. I'm separating from you. This is a havyan. Oh, here we go. This is a havyan. Rasha, which enables you, which allows you, v'shaltov and avshaychet, to rule, to have independence, l'mahach, to go ahead, l'snaspa, to go marry, l'chol man de titzbay, in any person that you wish to marry, v'inish leim chavitaychi, and nobody can protest and get in your way, min yom d'nan l'olam, starting from today onward. V'dein di'havachim, so this document is to you from me, get peturin, v'sei v'teruchen, right, we get a shivukin, and we end off with the 3 words, kedas Moshe Yisrael. So regarding these words, Bisahavian and Titzvayan, says Abaye, make sure to include 3 yuds in a row. Tlasa yud. You know why? To leave no room for misunderstanding. The mashma, because otherwise, if there's only 2 yuds, it could sound like third person. That he's not addressing her. The Tahavian means you should be able to go marry. The Titzvayan, you should choose your husband. But without 3 yuds, it could sound like I'm referring to somebody else out there. Tahavian, like in third person, somebody out there, the unknown person. The Titzvayan, they will want to, they will choose. So it's not personal and direct, but with 3 yudin, somehow that compensates for that. When you write the word teruchen, make sure the vav is a bit long, it doesn't appear like a yud. Or the vav the shivukin, likewise the vav of the word shivukin, because otherwise it can be misread as a yud, and it can sound like the mashma trichin ushvikin, that this document is meant for those women who are divorced and separated, and not it's not referring to you specifically. The vav addresses that. When you write kedai through this with this now, so make sure the vav is clearly a vav. The mashma kedi, because otherwise, if it's a short vav, it might look like yudu. Kedi means nothing, so it's worthless. It's nothing. Don't put a aleph in the word lehisna saba. It should be a hey, lehisna saba, not a aleph and a yud. The mashma lo yisnaba, because it can be broken down to two words. No marriage for you. Ella, rather you should write lehisna saba. This enables you to marry. Okay, so we have many, particularities, details here that have to be looked after to ensure a properly written and understood get. Let's go back to the original question. Do we even have to write all this? Meaning, do we paskin like Rabbi Yehuda? That you have to elaborate, or like the Chacham? Tashma, the asking Rava Begiti. Rava was masakin the following text in the get. Eich planya bar planya. This is describing how Reuven ben Shimon pata b'serach esponisat insase is divorcing his wife. Dahavas intasem mikadam dana, who was his wife until now. Miyav danan lo'ilam, starting from today onward. That's it. V'ilu v'dein l'ka'amar. We have nothing else in there. Not v'dein, not all that lashon that Rabbi Yehuda brings in the Mishnah. Asks the Gemara l'tameich. Now, according to your question, kulu mika amar. What about the other words in the get that we spoke about? We spoke about this is allowing you to go marry, all that. You see, Rabbi Yehuda only spoke about adding the words v'dein. This get should be to you from me a sefer gerushin, which makes it clear that the get is the one affecting the divorce. Okay, so that he left out. Rava left that out, which perhaps indicated that it's not necessary. But you realize he left out much more than that. We had the whole nusach that we just discussed, Abayi and all that. What happened to all that? Elo be'inan. So apparently, of course, we need that. We need more than Rava mentioned. Rava was simply, pointing out certain things that have to be stressed in the get. His own Rava was introducing new aspects of accuracy, but he's not preempting, he's not precluding the other things. Likewise, when regarding your question of v'dein, Rabbi Yehuda's v'dein, to indicate that this shtar is affecting divorce, perhaps that's also necessary. The fact that Rava didn't mention is no indication, one way or the other. Is no indication that it's not needed. Rava was just pointing out specific things that he was, incorporating into the get. What's the point of saying that this will affect the gerushin starting from today? Why do you have to mention that? Lafukim de Rabbi Yesi. You see, this is in contrast to Rabbi Yesi. The Omar zmanim shoshtan b'cheichalav. We had this discussion a while ago. A person's deathly ill. He gives her a get, and then he passes away. So if the get took effect during his lifetime, it's fine. But otherwise, it's achar misa. It's too late. So how do you get around that? You write in the get mehayim that's starting from today, right? If he passes away, the get is going to be triggered retroactively during his lifetime, so it circumvents that issue. Rabbi Yossi says no need to do that. The fact that the shtar has a date indicates that he wants it to start from today. And Rashi points out, although we pass like Rabbi Yossi, we don't want any problems, any ambiguity in the get. We don't want people to question the get. So that was Rava's point. Make sure to write miyayim dinan. So every get will have that. It's a standard nusach. The get takes effect starting today, which makes it clear, no room for doubt. Miyayim dinan ula alam. What's that all about? Starting from today, going permanently forever. That's coming to address another issue. A couple of days ago, Rabbi asked Rav Nachman, the Amar hayayim iyat ishti, l'machat ishti. Suppose he tells her, look, today you're divorced, tomorrow you're back home. Hayayim iyat ishti, tomorrow you're my wife again. Does that work? And he says, well, it works, but not the way he intended it. Once she's divorced today, she's gone. Once they're disconnected, you can't, reattach it. So technically speaking, that's a proper divorce. Still, Rabbi says, don't get involved in ambiguity and sfeikus and all kinds of funny situations. Make it clear in the get that she's divorced. Starting from today, me'ata v'adai. Okay, let's summarize today's daf. We know that according to Shittas Rabbanan, chutz, right? If he divorces her with respect to everybody except for Reuven, that's a problematic condition that makes the get puzzle. What about almanas? Any type of almanas condition, that's okay. But Rebbe says if it's recorded in the get, it can lead to confusion. You might write chutz, and that's a problem. So any type of t'nai in the get makes the get puzzle midrabanan. And we had Reb Zera's approach, we have Rava's approach, and we explained how the Mishnah works with each shita. On the topic of chutz, of shiur, of leaving things out, of an incomplete divorce, we had the next Mishnah. Part 1 discussed, chayav krisus or eved or goy, who in any case have no potential for kiddushin with this woman, so leaving them out, not enabling their marriage with her, is not considered a shiur, whereas other cases are. We had several cases in the Gemara, which we asked about a katan and a brother-in-law and all types of exceptions and shiurs, and we mostly left it off as a question mark. The text of the get, well, according to the Chachamim, Hariyat and Teres L'chal Adam, that's the Ikar HaGet. The Gemara, Rashi brought the whole nusach there, which describes the process, and then we have Rabbi Yehuda who added V'dein di Havdachiminai. You have to express that as well. This document affects the divorce. He held Yadayim Shein Mechichais is not clear enough. We have Rava's additional, details here. We explain, why they're necessary. Now we discuss the nusach of a get shichur as well. Hariyat ben chayrin, hariyat la'atzmacha. The Gemara added ainli esek bach. We had a question regarding the get of an isha. We concluded that even hariyat la'atzmacha works as well, and that's learned from a kolshkein. If it works by Eved, certainly works by the isha. Okay, all the best to you and Hatzlacha Rabbah.